we're going to go into a division preview, and it's actually one that we have briefly touched on, so maybe we don't have to spend as much time on it. It's one that we talked about at various points over the over our off season here.
Yeah.
At P&I. So Phil, hit me with some music, please.
AFC East, baby. Let's go.
AFC East.
Yeah, buddy.
Home of Knicks Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels weird saying that because Tom Brady's not there. So should I really even say that?
It's kind of weird. I'm still a Bill Belichick guy. You know what I mean? I still respect him.
I called you out for not being a Belichick guy last week. Just a tad.
I know. It's just his lack of
a tiny bit
offensive weapons for me, but that's all right.
Let's go right into it. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Nice. He nailed it this time. Attaboy, Phil. Do we want to just...
That ass.
Let's just say it. Let's just say it how it is. Let's pick our division winners.
Okay.
If you want to tell me right now, playoff teams, maybe you could save that for when we go through each team. How about that? But
yeah,
division winner, I think it's pretty obvious. It's the Buffalo Bills.
It could be obvious.
You don't think... do you have the Bills, though?
Maybe.
Bills? Well, I'm asking you, for
Maybe.
real. Is this your pick?
They're going to have to find out soon.
Oh, you want to save that for the end?
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine.
Absolutely.
Fine.
You got to keep the suspense. You know what I mean?
Hey, Patriots and Dolphins, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go right into the Bills then. How about that? All right. 13 wins last year.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen ascended to heights that I don't think anybody saw coming. And they have a lot of guys returning. And, the biggest storyline of the offseason probably was Josh Allen getting that massive contract. You got questions with the run game, which is still kind of... they don't generally rely on the run game, but you could tell, once it hit playoff time and, those grinded out games leading up to the playoffs, they needed a run game. And they did not get anything from that unit. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. The defense, though, I said earlier, they hit their stride late in the year. They got Brian Dable returning, which is huge. I thought for sure he was getting a head coaching job. I think he's waiting for a big name job to come up.
A perfect opportunity.
So this is probably a team that, assuming all things go right, they could make a Super Bowl run.
I agree with you.
One of the few teams, right?
I agree with you. I definitely think they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Like you said, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, they didn't really have an identity last year, but I just think that they didn't know who they wanted to play. I feel like Zach Moss actually really stepped up when he had the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Devin Singletary for me is just a middle of the pack back. You know what I mean?
He's better suited to be a third down back.
Yeah, and I actually have Zach Moss as a fantasy sleeper this year.
Me too. I had him there last year. I was drafting him thinking he'd take the reins after a few weeks, and they just didn't let him do it.
Yeah, I know, exactly. He had a couple games where he scored 20 points or more.
Because he finally got some goal line opportunities towards the end of the year. Josh Allen kind of takes away from that sometimes. He just bolts his way in, but...
they're loaded on offense, Mike. They have Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabriel Davis, Cole Beasley.
P&I sleeper, Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, P&I sleeper and sports sleeper.
Mike's favorite sleeper, Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
Come on, man.
I like Dawson Knox, though. He does score a little bit. He gets open.
Oh, man, if they somehow... Zach Ertz, I don't know what's going to happen there, but if he gets traded, that's the best fit for him.
Yeah.
That is major if he goes there.
Yeah, I think they're a top 3 team in the AFC, though.
Yeah.
Overall.
I guess obviously when we touch on the playoff picture episode, we can talk about how far they'll go, but definitely you could see a path to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, between the Chiefs, the Browns, possibly Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Steelers, though. Shout out Broads. But
Wow.
I'm be honest with you, man. I know it might seem like it's over, but last year they were 12-4. So
You saved that because remember we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
That's in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm just making my case for it being in the top 3.
But I hear you though.
You know
There's
what I
been
mean?
actually some pretty positive Steelers buzz.
Oh yeah.
So and they did go 12-4 last year. So you got Diggs, obvious top 3 to 5 option in PPR.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah.
He showed you that.
Mm-hmm.
Sanders, though, might be an interesting flyer in the not the mid rounds, but late rounds, PPR leagues only.
He's a
kind
flex
of
option.
interests me because I could see him having 70 catches. Anywhere between, like this is the thing. Everything behind Diggs, they got a lot. So I don't know if he'll be enough to be relevant. But he's a guy I would look at for streamers if he doesn't get drafted. But I could see anywhere between like 800 yards, 70 catches, and 5 touchdowns.
See, I think
Still
he'll get
something.
drafted. I
He's
think
a-
he'll get drafted later in the draft. But
Yeah.
I think he's a flex option.
Could wind
honestly.
up being a wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
Is basically what I'm getting at.
yeah. I agree
Gabriel
with you on that.
Davis, though, could be like that guy. That's going to be your Mr. Streamer Deluxe. There,
That's
where
my
you want
guy.
like a boom or bust option where, you trust that he'll get that bomb in that game
Yeah.
against a shit secondary.
He's capable too. But like we saw last year, he had 7 touchdowns in a short stint.
Yeah.
So I'm
Could
pretty
be bombs away.
Yeah, and Stephon Diggs is actually talking him up. He wants him to improve his game because he actually sees potential in him.
And
So
I
that's
mean,
something to look out
less
for.
coverage there. And now he's their third, even fourth receiver because you got Beasley in the slot, and he has PPR value. He catches a ton of passes.
Oh yeah, and especially with leagues that have they get like a half point for a first down reception. So I think Beasley does have a lot of value in those.
He's a
kind of
chain
leagues.
mover.
Absolutely.
And he's also going to be freed up in that slot. They got a lot of weapons, but it would do them so well if they could run the football effectively this year. They are not going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon if they can't run the football a lick.
Yeah, no, I
They
agree.
can't.
I think Zach Moss is going to take over at some point in the year.
They got to give him a chance to
They
do it.
have to. They have to.
I mean, it didn't work last year. Just
Nah.
try something different. Singletary's best served being in that third down role because he still has some explosiveness to him and can catch a football out of the backfield. So, it seems obvious.
No, I agree with you.
I'm surprised they didn't
100%.
figure that out. So we're not even going to spend that much time. We just talked about the Bills' defense.